All right. Let's go ahead and talk about Coach Prime. Sports Illustrated. Deion Sanders, Colorado Buffaloes contract extension details. The Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Deion Sanders announced a significant contract extension that will make Coach Prime one of the highest paid coaches in college football. Fresh off a 9-4 season in 24, Sanders agreed to a 5-year, $54 million deal. I'm going to read that again. 5-year, $54 million deal. So that's a little more than $10 million a year on average. Although Colorado fans hope it never comes into play, Sanders' contract includes a formal buyout agreement that decreases each year he stays in Boulder. This is typical for college football coaches' contracts and helps the school mitigate losses in case of sudden departure. So the longer he stays, the lower his buyout gets, which again, that's pretty normal. According to Sportico, Sanders would owe CU $12 million in liquidated damages if he terminates his new contract on or before December 31st, 2025. That's all? Only $12 million? Holy cow. Every year, Sanders' buyout number drops by at least $1 million. The buyout drops to $10 million before December 31st, 26, $6 million before December 31st, 2027, $4 million before December 31st, 2028, and $3 million before December 31st, 2029. Sanders' old contract buyout will set at $8 million if he left Colorado before the conclusion of 25. The buyout would only come into play if Sanders accepts alternate employment as a coach at the collegiate or at the non-amateur level. The new contract also allows Sanders' potential new employer to pay the buyout. Coach Prime received some interest from NFL teams earlier this season, but ultimately decided to stay at Colorado and coach without his son, Shador and Shiloh. So the buyout would only come into play if Sanders accepts alternate employment as a coach at the collegiate or non-amateur level. So pro level. I'm trying to understand. So if he just retires, I guess he doesn't have to pay a buyout. Okay. I guess that's what that means. Sanders' contract also features several performance incentives, including a $400,000 bonus for winning the conference championship game or appearing in the first round of the CFP. Colorado Athletic Director Rick George, who spearheaded his hiring, spoke on the impact and expectations. Coach Prime has revolutionized college football and in doing so has restored CU football to our original rightful place as a national power. This extension not only recognizes Coach's incredible accomplishments transforming our program on and off the field, it keeps him in Boulder to compete for conference and national championships in the years to come. Sanders also expressed his desire to continue Colorado football's recent rapid growth. The Buffs won only one game in the season prior to Sanders' arrival, but secured 4 victories in 2023 and 9 this past year. I just heard a super chat come in. I will get to it as soon as I finish the article, which I'm almost done. I'm excited for the opportunity to continue building something special here at Colorado, Sanders said. We've just scratched the surface of what this program can be. It's not just about football. It's about developing young men who are ready to take on the world. I'm committed to bringing greatness to this university on and off the field. We've got work to do, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here, making history with these incredible players and this passionate fan base. Lastly, anybody got at least a 5-bedroom home with acreage for sale? I like that last part. But anyway, so Deion's bringing the bag home, baby, like he needed it. Big Dan T in the house. Somehow or another, I don't know how this happens. I got it. There we go. Big Dan T in the house. He says, they can't look down on us after Rich Rod wins us 3 national titles in the next 3 years. Hell, West Virginia. Dan, I hope that's true, man. Wouldn't that be something if Rich Rod can bring West Virginia national title? I'm not going to get my hopes up, brother. I'm just going to try to stay level-headed. Keep my expectations at a reasonable level, brother. BYU football says he doesn't think the Big 12 should expand at all. 16 teams is hard enough to schedule now. Let me get back to the Coach Prime conversation. Coach Prime bringing home the bag, $54 million over 5 years, a little over $10 million a year. A lot of money, one of the highest paid coaches in college football. Is it worth it? Why, yeah. If you're Colorado, think about it. Whether we agree or disagree with how Coach Prime does things, it's beside the point. Colorado's enrollment since Coach Prime came to Colorado has skyrocketed. Their TV viewership skyrocketed. They are now one of the most viewed football programs in the country. They're up there with the SEC and the top teams in the Big Ten. They're getting a lot of views. Their enrollment's up. They're getting more. Whether this matters or not, I guess it does to some people. Probably does to the board and the presidents. They're getting a more diversified group of students into Colorado. But the main thing is he's bringing more attention, probably more marketing opportunities, more revenue, and more students to the University of Colorado. And what's that do? It makes Colorado a lot more money. Coach Prime, in my opinion, whether I agree with everything, I don't agree with everything he does and says by a long shot. I've criticized him in the past. I've given him his flowers in the past. But if you're sitting in Rick George's seat, the AD at Colorado, this was a move you had to make, in my opinion. You've got to keep Coach Prime in Boulder as long as possible. He's brought Colorado back from a winning standpoint. He's putting Colorado on the national map from a university standpoint. And again, marketing dollars, cha-ching. Student enrollment, cha-ching. And by the way, as I sit here, the fan of another Big 12 team, this helps the conference. Right now, the Big 12 lags way behind most of the SEC teams, the top tier Big 10 teams, and several of the ACC teams in viewership, except one team, and that's Colorado. Colorado is, whether we like it or not, this is just real facts here. The numbers bear it out. Colorado is bringing more TV eyeballs to the Big 12 conference. And what will that do? We talk about a private capital deal. I mentioned that earlier. Having Coach Prime in the conference makes the Big 12 more valuable. Absolutely. If he's still in the conference when they go to renegotiate the media deal in 2030, if he decides to stay on even longer, guess what? That media deal may go up. And even if he leaves at the end of his contract, if Colorado the Colorado program might be elevated to a level, if they keep winning and the student enrollment continues to climb, they might be elevated to a level to where they can sustain it. And they might be more valuable. They won't be as valuable as they were with Coach Prime, but they still might be more valuable than they were 3 years ago or 4 years ago. See what I'm saying? So Coach Prime being in Boulder is not only good for Boulder, it's good for the Big 12 conference, folks. We need anything we can in this conference to bring us more revenue and more TV eyeballs. And Coach Prime does it. Whether we like him or not, whether we agree with him or not, whether we think he's too cocky, whether we think the way he works the portal, whatever. Whether we agree, disagree, think he's a bum, whether we think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, it doesn't matter. The numbers bear it out. He's good for the conference, period. And I think this is a good move for the Big 12. Now it means Colorado's going to continue to get star players every year, which is going to make them tougher to compete with. But overall, for the Big 12, it's a good thing in my opinion. And I'm glad that he's going to stay. And I hope he does stay the entire length of his contract. And I hope some way, somehow the Big 12 is able to capitalize on that. To me, the easiest way to do that is what I mentioned earlier. Private capital. If the Redbird Capital or somebody comes in, they might see an opportunity to strike while the iron's hot. Let's go ahead and strike this deal while Coach Prime's still in the league. Try to make money over, some quick money, so to speak. I know private capital is a long-term play. Don't get me wrong, but if they can make as much money as they can on the front end of that, it makes things even better on the back end, right? But anyway, look, like I said, I've criticized some of the things Coach Prime has done. But, man, when you look at the team he put on the field, now it's going to be interesting to see how they do without Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Can he sustain it? That's going to be the question. Can Colorado sustain that success without Shedeur Sanders and without Travis Hunter? I don't know if they can, but we will see this year. They're still getting good players out of the portal, but there are no more Travis Hunters out there, folks. Travis Hunter was probably a once-in-a-generation player. Or at least once in once in a generation, I'd say is fair. At least once a decade, right? And even Shedeur, one of the best quarterbacks, he's probably going to be the second or third pick in the NFL draft. At least the second quarterback taken off the board in this year's NFL draft. So, regardless of what we think about him, the young man's talented. Both of those young men are talented, and they helped elevate Colorado football. Can they continue to play at that level without them? We're going to find out starting in 2025 because This is going to be the first time Coach Prime has coached without his sons on the team at any level, is my understanding. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it.